We are back and we are better than ever. Late stream today. I was up all morning. And all night, mind you, getting the nature unit study ready for this week. And I have to say, I'm so excited with how it turned out. It's one of my favorite lessons that we've done throughout the entire year. And not only did we wrap up, tie a bow around what the children were doing with their entrepreneurial events, which is really exciting. We're going to talk about profit, revenue, expenses, and the children calculating that, whatever their event was, whether they did a lemonade stand, a farmer's market, whatever it is, they need to know this stuff. But more exciting, we're getting into the week of food preservation. And when I say the week, I really mean probably for the next month, probably even more, we will be doing food preservation with the children. And to me, that's really exciting because that gets into just along the lines with everything we've done with greenhouses, with constructing garden boxes and the skills of carpentry and making ladybug feeders and fertilizer. And now the children learning the skill of canning and turning strawberry into jam. This is food preservation, and we're going to have a lot of fun with this over the next month, or maybe I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. But it's something that I've been looking forward to doing coming into the year. I knew I wanted to get to this, but to be here in this moment now is a nice thing. So let me grab TikTok, and then we will get this stream formally started. But as you know, I like to have a quick chat with my people since it's my people who show up on the YouTube. Hey, Foster Bear. I need to start seed saving. I just canned 7 jars of spaghetti yesterday. Well, that is amazing, and congratulations. That's very exciting stuff. I've never done spaghetti, but that sounds pretty awesome. And yeah, definitely get on the seeds. They bolt and before you run out of time, because it's that time of year. So let me grab Tick Sock. All right, let's go live. Okay. Got about 20% in here. What do we call this? The skills of survival. The skills of survival. We will survive the winter. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Good afternoon, TikTok. It is a beautiful day here in the sunny south. I am in the backyard, sitting in the gazebo. The sun is shining, the grass is greener, and the sky is blue, and I can see my beautiful wife and little children running around, and that brings great joy to my day and great love to my heart. So, today we are going to talk about the skills of survival. And when I say survival, I don't just mean a guy out in the woods starting a fire like I started my video with today. No, what I mean is life skills, the skills that it takes to be a free and independent person in this world. Because I've said it before and I'll say it again, if you measure public school by its ability to produce free, independent 18-year-olds, it fails 95% of the time because 95% of 18-year-olds are completely and utterly incapable of living independently. Well, what's the point of giving them to the public school system for 15 years if they can't produce that result? I don't care about SATs. I don't care about whatever this or that. You get the children for 15 years. If they're not capable of living freely by the time they're 18, then there's something seriously wrong with the system. And that is 95% of society. Never going one, I'm going to assume you're a troll, so if you say that again, I'm going to block you. So we're here talking about solutions, and for those of you that have followed along, you know what we've been doing this year. And that is teaching children critical thinking, real world skills and getting them entrepreneurial experience through what you would do every day, through gardening and through nature. And over the course of the year, the students have made their own garden boxes. Never going. One more comment and you're blocked. Just like, these people are so annoying. It's the parents' job. Okay, just go away. Annoying. And the phone and the thunder roars. So we have been teaching skills, as all parents can do, since you're literally in a chat with homeschool parents, who are probably the most devoted parents in America. Because rather than take off 8 hours a day to do whatever they're doing, they are with their children all day. And for anyone who doesn't think that that's easier, come on. So anyway, enough of the trolls. So we've been doing our year-long nature unit study, and it starts simple. You give the children their own garden boxes, and you say, you're responsible for this area of the garden. Right. We sacrifice so much to be able to homeschool, and for people like that to come in here and be like, it's the parent's job, like, that person probably ignores their children all day. And then they'll lash out at people that homeschool because you're holding up a black mirror to what that guy really is, someone who's not willing to put in that time. Because myself and the people in this chat, right, it's much easier to not be with your kids for 8 hours a day, right? That's like, that sounds like a vacation. Not that I would want that. I enjoy being with my children. But like, people like that come in here and try to troll, and it's like, we can see right through you. We know what you really are, so just go away. So let's say you give your children a garden box, and you start with the priority on real world skills. So what I would say is you have them actually construct 2x4 construction their own garden box. This is something we've done, by the way. And the reason you do that is because you're not only giving them their garden box, but we want to prioritize skills, right? When you talk about the public school system, what it does, what it doesn't do, it doesn't teach real world skills, right? It doesn't teach real world skills. So they'll tell you, oh, yes, it does. The children have a woodshop class. 1 semester in 15 years. Oh, there's a home ec class. 1 semester in 15 years. It's disgraceful to call that prioritizing skill development. And the average 18-year-old who graduates from the public school system doesn't have skills. So that's one of the things we want to prioritize as homeschool parents. And one of the ways you can do that is giving your children that garden box, having them construct it, 2x4 construction with nails. And to take that a step further, what I would recommend is you have your children do 1 construction project a month for starting when they're 5 years old. So from the time they're 5 to 6, they've done 12 projects. To the time they're 7, they've done 24 projects, right? So you are stacking project after project, and you're using that to develop real world skills. And the reason for that is skills are what free people. So there'll always be a woman down the block who needs a TV hung or who needs her toilet fixed. And people who have skills are able to do things in the world. They're able to be entrepreneurial. They are able to make money, right? They can do things like that in the world. And, sorry, I was just reading an email. They could do things like that in the real world, and they have confidence in themselves. And when I look back with everything that happened after March of 2020, what I saw, because, yeah, a lot of people went with the narrative, right? But we all know people who felt like they had their back against the wall. We all know people who felt like they had, by the way, if you guys could share, like, it really helps me reach people. So these are people that felt like they had their back against the wall. They were told, you have to, well, you know what they were told they have to do. And they felt like they didn't have a way out, to the point where many people did something that they personally felt would have an adverse effect on their self, right? And they still did it because they didn't feel they had a skill set to fall back on. So, like with the carpentry, you do one project a month, right? And your children start to develop skills. And the example I gave yesterday is, a child who's done 36 carpentry projects by the time they're 8 years old, right, could probably find a piece of discarded furniture on the side of the road and then take that furniture, bring it home, refurbish it, fix it up, make it nice, be creative, and then they could sell it on Facebook Marketplace, they could sell it on Etsy, they could sell it at a local farmer's market, which is such great life experience, at a local antique shop. One of the things that I love that we've gave children the option of doing is to make something out of wood, maybe refurbish something, and then actually approach a local antique shop or a local antique shop and actually offer to start a business relationship with them and say, I have this, I'm willing to sell it to you at wholesale. How much would you be? And you'd be surprised. It's a more mom and pop feeling of entrepreneurship, and it's not only getting your children entrepreneurial experience, but you're teaching them how to form a sales pitch, how to form a package, and how to make business relationships. And there's something really liberating about teaching your children to do that at a young age, because one of the most powerful things you can do as a young entrepreneur is learn the skill of making those business relationships. So we use the skills that our children have to get them entrepreneurial experience, and then we use that entrepreneurial experience. Well, anyway, we'll get into that. But so we were doing our year-long nature unit study, back to where I was, and we had them construct their garden boxes, and we had them do all types of cool things. We have the children, and you can do this, by the way, all of this, very easy stuff. You could Google anything I talk about how to do. Make fertilizer out of eggshells, make fertilizer out of banana peels, composting, which you just go composting and go to images, and it's very easy to figure out how to do the basics of composting, right? All of these real world things that your children can do. Make ladybug feeders, make bee baths, make candles out of beeswax, which is really cool. And when we did that, we actually showed children how other people sell the candles that they make on sites like Etsy. And then they could take those candles to Etsy and they could sell them. And it's just another way to develop an entrepreneurial mindset in your children, to develop a mindset of abundance in your children, and to prepare your children to be people who are capable of living a free and independent life when they're 18 years old, right? Right? And unlike that troll who's like, no one lives an independent life. Okay, but that doesn't mean, one, that's not true, and two, that doesn't mean you don't teach your children the skills of independence. I mean, that's like a no-brainer. Why would I even have to say that? It's like absurd that I would have to say that. I just pulled my son out of school today. He starts homeschooling tomorrow. Wish me luck. Well, good luck. You're going to do great. And start with baby steps. You don't have to replicate public school at all. One of the biggest mistakes new homeschool parents make is they think they have to replicate public school. Start with like one formal hour a day of schooling, establish some chores, and then work in some informal stuff. Don't be afraid to follow the interest of your child, right? And you'll do great. I would do some basic reading, familiarize yourself with classical education, Montessori, Charlotte Mason, and unschooling, and you will do fantastic. So anyway, let me continue where I was going. And I'm going to go back and answer all your comments. I always do. I just, new homeschooler, I thought I would let them know they're doing great. Oh, and make sure your paperwork is right. Don't just pull your child out of school. You have to file the right paperwork. You can find it at hslda.org, homeschoollegaldefenseassociation.org. They're godsend of an organization. Support them, and you can find the paperwork you need at their website. So we've been doing all these things this year and getting the children not just entrepreneurial experience, but developing real skills, gardening, planting seeds, growing crops. And what we did from there is we actually had the children host an entrepreneurial, what paperwork is that for? What is that paperwork for? So every state is different. I just want to make sure she's okay with this. Every state is different, but in many states, you have to file your intent to homeschool with your local district and get your school district and get formal approval, which I know is annoying, but you don't want to not do that because if you don't have the paperwork and they decide to be you know what's, they could call the authorities on you and then you don't have a leg to stand on. Whereas if you file your paperwork, you won't have a problem. So make sure you do that. So we had our students do all this gardening, plant their seeds, and then we had them do an end of summer business event, entrepreneurial event. And that could look like whatever they want. That could be a lemonade stand, that could be a bake sale, that could be hosting a farmer's market, that could be a flower sale, which is a great option for our students. With some of them grew flowers and they could go that route. And within a flower sale, they could actually approach a local florist or a local florist or a store like that and actually attempt to form some type of business agreement. I see my wife running around with the children. They sell to that business wholesale. You want to give your children options, and then what we did was we kind of have a basic business plan. What is your product? What is your service? Who are your customers? How will you notify your customers? What will their experience be like? How will you set up the pricing? How you calculate expenses? How you calculate revenue? How you calculate profit, right? Really basic stuff, but you want to give your children that entrepreneurial experience. So we did that, and it was really exciting to get through that part of the year because we built up all year to get to that. And now the children have everything laid out in front of them where they can get their first entrepreneurial experience. And it's something that's so important because you develop that mindset. And now it takes us to a new part of the year. And it was something I'm really excited about, and it's something everyone can do, and it's something everyone should do. The skills of self-sufficiency, the skills of independence, the skills of survival. We already did seed preservation, how to preserve tomato seeds, how to preserve dry seeds like pea seeds and snap peas. And this week, we started the topic of food preservation. And in order to do that, the children this week will actually be making their own jam, making their own strawberry jam, right? Jelly, which is a form of food preservation. And the most beautiful thing is it's not that difficult to process. You mash up your berries or you blend your berries. You put them in a saucepan. You add some sugar, some pectin, optional, and some lemon. Squeeze some lemon. You bring it to a boil, about 15 minutes, and then you put it in a jar, and then you do canning, right? And that gets through. Yeah, we're actually going to cover fermenting in the upcoming weeks, right? And then the children learn about canning and food preservation and how to take those crops that they grew, right? Crops that would have gone bad in a week and preserve them for a year. And what they're learning is that with the right skill set, there is a world of abundance. And then, of course, when you get into the skills of canning, you have the options. Nicole is just sprinting around the yard in circles with the kids, and she is just a beyond amazing woman. But, right, you're teaching your children that there's this world of abundance out there, and that they can grow their food and preserve their food, right? We see all these people worried about everything going on in the world, and they're worried about, oh my God, is there going to be a food shortage? Well, how about instead of worrying, you start growing your food and learning how to preserve your food and all of that stuff, and that's what we're doing with the children. And so this week, they are making their own jelly and they're canning, and then in the weeks to come, we're going to learn, we actually introduced it this week, but how to smoke meat, right? Freeze drying, dehydrating, all of these different methods of food preservation in which you can teach your children how to take control of their lives. And it really is very rewarding to get to this point and see the nature unit study come full circle. And I mean, getting from the point where the children started growing their own crops to the point where they're preserving their seeds, they're learning to preserve their food for the long haul. We have them doing all this entrepreneurial stuff, and all of this stuff is within the realm of possibility. Anyone listening, whether you're a member of our group or not, can do this with your children, right? You can do this with basic internet searches. It's not overly comprehensive, and it's something that will give your children the confidence to do really good things in life. Hi, Orbs. How's my girl? You having fun? I see you. Are you running away from mommy? She's the cutest thing on the planet. So I'm going to go back and answer your questions. For anyone interested in what we do, it's classicallearner.com, and our private group is called Homeschools Connected, and it's $10 a month with the discount code FREEDOM. Oh, yeah, I mean, 15 months is just right. It's like the best age. It's adorable. All right, let's go back and answer the questions. Oh, hey, Shauna. All right, so Shauna is Luna Bell Ray on here. I'm going to need a few streams to remember that. But Shauna, you have been crushing in our community, and we absolutely love your contribution. Oh, by the way, I forgot. Someone asked yesterday for educational recommendations for materials to use for the Great Depression to the World War II era. So if anyone has information for them on that, make sure you go back in the Discord and just let them know, because I don't like questions to go unanswered, and I forgot to answer myself. So if no one answers, I'll go back and do it, but one of you do it. Yeah, schools don't teach kids anything anymore. It's they don't teach any real skills, and even the subject matter that they learn, it's usually politically driven nonsense, and people are waking up to that in droves, which is why we've seen it go from 3 million homeschoolers to 11 million. It's like the proof's in the pudding. Pulled my son out of school today. He starts homeschooling tomorrow. Well, read that one. Congratulations. Yeah, your daughter dragons are just next level. The next level. Yeah, definitely set up an Etsy shop. I would have your daughter, you said 16 years old? I would have your daughter start reading books like Contagious, which is a book on marketing and social media marketing. I would have your daughter start reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad, Think and Grow Rich, The 5-Hour Work Week. Especially, I mean, if she's making stuff like that, she really wants to get into both the digital space and the physical space. So I would also have her, again, try to get into physical storefronts at wholesale. And you want to focus on like mom and pop type of stores. Like, don't look at Walmart right away. Try to get her into mom and pop type of stores, sell at wholesale as artwork, and then form business relationships so she can do that time and time again. So I would go that route, and then I would also go the Etsy route and start learning social media marketing. She's going to want to get her dragons out there. Definitely start an Instagram page. Have her start looking into Instagram marketing, right? Like, don't have her just do it. Have her study how to do it, right? She could build a website, take a course in web design. She's artsy, so she probably doesn't want to get into like HTML stuff unless she has that type of mind, but I would think not. But you can just have her build a website off of a site like GoDaddy, right? Just web design sites, right? They have the templates and you build it off of that. And then because she's artsy, I would definitely have her look into videography, probably take the 14-day filmmaker. And possibly, I'm guessing she's also very good at drawing. I would definitely have her take courses in graphic design and digital illustration. Digital illustration is one of the most powerful forms of art in the modern world. And when you have a 16-year-old who is capable of doing what your daughter did with those clay sculptures with dragons, you want that 16-year-old to start learning digital illustration because she can do some really, really cool stuff with that. I have a 3-year-old that turns 4 next month. Is it possible to start homeschooling? Yeah, you're already homeschooling. You want to focus on mosquito, I'm trying to get. You want to focus on a lot of fine motor activities, a lot of pre-writing skills. Not like mosquitoes. A lot of fine motor activities, a lot of pre-writing skills. Like fine motor activities like squeezing clothing pins to pick up pom-poms or something like that. A lot of scribbling, a lot of writing, a lot of art. Get her involved in music. The Prodigy's music program. The Prodigy's music program and Piano K are two good ones. I like them both. Set up your house as Montessori as you can. And get your children involved in baking and just anything you can to follow their interests. So 3 years old, you're already homeschooling, so don't feel shy about that. And if you have any questions, you've come to the right place. And gardening, that's where it's at. It's been difficult for me to make adjustments. I have 10% battery, so I won't be going much longer. It's been difficult for me to make adjustments for my kids. Go home tonight, write down their 3 primary interests. Just write them down. Then go onto Google, type in the name of those interests, kites plus unit studies, and you'll be amazed at what comes up. And that will give you some direction. Brett, thanks for the new science lesson on light refraction. So good. Thanks, Gunter. I was pretty excited about that one. I don't know if you saw, I actually kind of made that a 2-part lesson because I did another lesson on light the week before, which was really comprehensive. And after we did all of that on light, I wanted to bring real world practicality to it. So this week we had the children actually make their own rainbows and not like, oh, like actually make rainbows, like a rainbow in the world. So, we've all made rainbows, right? You take the hose outside, you spray it, you see it. Hey, Aubrey. Are you running away from Mama? I saw you were going so fast. I didn't think anyone could catch you, Aubrey. You were going fast.
The mosquitoes are attacking.
Yeah, they're in the gazebo. They've been biting me up.
Alright, guys. My outside time is done. I probably have 30 mosquito
Hey, baby.
bites.
How's my girlie?
What? There was a bug buzzing in my ear.
Yeah, the bugs are out today. When I was filming the class before for the unit study, there was a spider attack.
Oh, no.
I won the war. But
Alright, guys. Come on. Let's go inside and get something to drink.
I'll be in a little bit, okay, Aubrey?
Come here, Miss May.
In a little bit. I know, I want you too. But Daddy can't right now.
Okay. I got you.
I can't right now.
I got my
I
little...
love you.
Say bye-bye.
I love you. I'm going to get your belly. I'm going to eat your feet.
Come on, Bean.
Yeah, look at that. There's a mosquito right by my lip. Go away. If I would have known it was this mosquito out, I would have wore sweatpants. I don't care that it's 85 degrees. All right. Go away. Monsters. All right. quarterly assessments and garbage control. I don't know what that's in reference to, but sounds cool. My baby is about to start their first produce stand. That's awesome. Are you in the if you're in the community and you haven't looked at it, go back to lesson 29. There's all types from 29 to 35. There's all types of great printables I have in there that will help her with a produce stand. But that's super cool that you're doing that. Oh yeah, permaculture's where it's at. I heard from the others that the Beartaria Festival was a blast. Want to go next year. Foster Bear, you got to be there. Hey, Classical Learner Bear, how was the Beartaria Times Festival? It was amazing. And Anchor Bear, I mean, if you think Anchor Bear is a talented musician on Spotify, which I suggest everyone follows him, best concert I've ever been to. He was unbelievable. My husband and I will be attending the Midwest Bear Festival in Michigan at the end of the month. Yeah, well, I mean, all the bear events are, I mean, you just go and you're blown away by the culture. Like, it's such a good culture. I mean, we were at the Bear Fest, and I don't know how many people were there, but it was a lot. And, I mean, there were like tent cities, but it's like, imagine Woodstock with no degeneracy, right? Not one person in the whole place drank alcohol. Not one person in the whole place did narcotics. It was just this beautiful, wholesome, moral event, and it was an honor to be a part of it. I actually, if you guys haven't watched my stream from yesterday, it's posted on YouTube. I strongly recommend you watch it. It's probably the most powerful stream I've ever done, and it was all about the festival. I would definitely watch it and share that one because that was a good one. Oh, New York says unschooling is allowed and then places quarterly assessments. Gotcha. Yeah, every state has different regulations. How do you get around that? I mean, I'm not a lawyer. I mean, generally you have to follow the regulations. I mean, there's people that can go the sovereign route with things, but I wouldn't want to give you advice on that just because I'm not knowledgeable enough on. I wouldn't want to mislead you on that. How do I get away from the traditional style of schooling? You already are if you're homeschooling. So you can do that in a variety of ways. You could unschool, which is just following the interest of your children, which everyone should do that to some degree, right? You can use a Charlotte Mason type style where it's a lot of literature and reading, right? Focus on reading, writing, and then arithmetic. Really just the very nature of pulling your children out, you are away from it. Like, don't sit your children down in 45-minute blocks. You don't have to do that. You could do 1 to 2 hours of that formal schooling a day, and then the rest of the day, follow the interest of your children, let them do observations, hands-on science experiments, STEM projects, get out into nature, just all that type of stuff. Yeah, HSLDA, Homeschool Legal Defense Association. The Peanut Trap is the one we are on. Peanut Trap. One of my books, thank you. Glad you like it. Talk like this. I talk like I'm Barack Obama. It's my cadence. I say a few words at once. I recalibrate. I do it again. Don't you see? I'm hypnotizing you with the way I speak. Because I'm Barack Obama. I spoke with Michael And she told me that I am the man she always wanted to be with. A man of power. I enrolled my child in homeschooling at age 4. My kid has never been to daycare or public school. You're doing it right. I'm terrible at impressions, but Obama, in my opinion, is one of the easiest impressions to do because he talks like this. He's just a few words at a time, man. Fluctuates his voice a little. We've always forest schooled. Yeah, I mean, schooling in nature is my favorite. It's, there's so much you can do. That's why this year when I started the nature unit study, I was like, that's what I'm going to do, because I knew by guiding the children with doing things in nature, you can teach them anything you want. And like that includes, you can teach them math, science, you can get into history, like you can do anything with that. And of course, the skill development is, so much you could do. Do you have all this info on your website? Yes. ClassicalLearner.com. I gotta wrap this up soon because 5%. I got 5 on it. Just lost my spot. I'm trying to find my spot. This is the year we have to register to New York. Also, if you join Homeschool Legal Defense Association, and if you have a child under 5, you get a free membership with them. By the way, I'm not affiliated with them. I don't get any money from them. They're a great organization. You actually get a free consultation with one of their attorneys, and that's hslda.org. Do you have a website? Yeah, ClassicalLearner.com, and my YouTube is Classical Learner. Classical Learner on pretty much everything. Yeah, definitely check out Netty Games. Yeah, anyone that hasn't seen Netty Games, if you go to Google or DuckDuckGo or Brave and type in Netty Games, or I think it's www.nettygames.com, NEDDY games.com. Awesome person. They make board games that are designed to teach about different conspiracies and historical things that have happened. Really cool stuff. I used the cooking ideas from Classical Learner in our co-op today. The kids loved it. I love to hear that. That's amazing. And cooking's a great way to educate children too, like especially young children. If you go on, all you have to do is go on to Pinterest or just Google cooking plus mathematics or like cooking plus science, and there's so many cool projects will come up. Let's have a field trip to Peru. Gunter, you're trying to get me to Peru? I'm going to Florida on Monday. We're going to be in Florida from the 12th for a while. We're going to be in Florida we're going to be at my sister's house in Florida from the 12th to the 15th. Then we're going to be at Nicole's brother's wedding in Orlando from the 15th to the 20th. Then we're going to be back at my sister's house, more up north, from from the 20th to the 20, maybe 2nd, and then we're gonna come back home. So we're gonna be 10 to 12 days. We're gonna be in Florida, which I'm pretty excited about. My sister just moved to Florida from New York a few months ago, so I want to go there, and I'm very excited because I am bringing her a present. She doesn't know this, and she doesn't watch these streams, so I am bringing her a mango tree that I planted from seed, and I've been nurturing for her, so I'm very excited to give her that present, and she's going to have to send me mangoes for the next 45 years off of that tree. Because I like to give gifts that keep on giving. We miss you reading the books in character. Oh, like, are you talking about the propaganda class? I mean, I had fun doing the propaganda class. For any of you that haven't seen it, I dressed up like a cat and a news rooster, and I was acting out all this stuff. It's pretty cool. Do you guys know the digital versions of Cubs to Bears, like the YouTube reading, is done by Anchor Bear? The legendary Anchor Bear. That's a man, baby. That's a man, baby. The propaganda class was epic. Thank you, Foster Bear. I think I'm going to do another live class in October. I'm not sure, but obviously I couldn't do it in September because I was in Missouri last week and I'll be in Florida for the next 12 days. So I think I might do a class on American governance in October, but I have to work it out and see what I want to do. The only thing is, like, getting the curriculum out like we have. Actually, I don't like to call it that because I know how the game is played. Getting out the educational resources I've been getting out for, since I started doing everything daily. It's like, it's been really, I think you guys could agree, it's been really valuable to everyone. And I don't want to stop that at all. Like, you guys saw what I produced today, right? Like, I published the Nature Unit Study today. That was 19 pages. That was one day work. That was 1 day of work. And so, like, I'm getting out so many educational resources, and they're valuable, they're unique. I don't want anything to get in the way of that, but I do think I'd like to do another class. I know Wednesday's Child was saying that I'm missed in that regard, and then that makes me feel like I have to because I don't want to let the kids down if they want me to teach a class. So, anyway, I'll work that out. I'll let everyone know when I know for sure. Wait, Gunter, I didn't see. Why are you trying to get us to Peru? I was trying to get you to come live, like, down the block from me. That's what I was trying to do. Barack Obama. I just don't know why Gunter can't just come live down the block. Does he not want to live near the education guy? Does he not like me? Does he not want to live down the block? How hard is it to move your family across the country? Growing together is the only way. That is the only way. And that's, for anyone that missed my talk yesterday, go back and watch. It's called An Education Worthy of Freedom. It's the talk I gave on YouTube yesterday. Extremely powerful. And it's all about growing together and growing within community and, but being rugged individualist within that. I will only speak to you in my Obama voice for the rest of the day. I will pay you to only speak to me in your Obama voice for the rest of the day. That would be a great joy. That would bring me great joy. But just know, I will talk to you in my Bane voice. I was born in the dark. I went to public school. By the time I'd seen the light, I was already a man. Use the code STARGATE for 20% off Netty Games. And for the record, that's not my code. I don't get paid on that code. Although I probably should do an affiliate code with Netty Games. Oh, it is for us. Okay, I misspoke. Apparently Netty Games did give me a promo code, and I didn't realize that. Okay, so apparently I do have a promo code for Netty Games. Stargate. Well, thank you, Netty Games. For any of you wondering why that would be and why I don't know that, Netty Games is also a member of our community, Homeschools Connected, and Netty Games absolutely crushes. I can't believe how much you get out. Yeah, thanks, Gunter. I've been really grinding at that, and like my schedule's been in flux. Last night I went to bed at 2:30 a.m. and the kids woke us up at 6:30, and then I watched the kids this morning. We actually switched it up. I watched the kids this morning from like 6:30 to 9, and Nicole did the rest of the unit study because she is much more proficient in jellying and canning and stuff like that. So I kind of did everything that I could do, and then I had her make it spectacular. So Mrs. Classical Learner, bringing the gravy. Nicole. All right, guys. I think I am going to call it a stream on that. This has been mighty fun as always. So I will be back tomorrow. I don't know at what time, but my goal is 9:30, and then usually what happens is I wind up still working at that time because I try to get the lesson of the day uploaded to Homeschools Connected, and I try to get out my videos before I do the stream. So a lot of days that just, like today, that was like 2:30 in the afternoon. So, wasn't quite 9:30, but hey, what are you gonna do? We do our best, right, people? In my mind, I want you to know that, and I don't promote this type of stuff. I think it's bad, but I grew up listening to this stuff, and in my mind I started singing Lil Wayne, and I was like, 'cause I'm grinding till I die. Gotta grind, baby. Gotta put in that work. Right. I will do a stream sometime between 9:30 a.m. and the end of the day. Yeah, well, we will miss you, Nettie. Gunter, there was a CIA bug today. If you want, I could send you the raw footage. So I made a class today. As part of the nature unit study, I filmed a 10-minute talk. And I was sitting right here, and in the middle of my talk, I was like, boom, like that. Nailed the table, smushed a spider. A spider ran up on me. I don't like to smush spiders, but I'm in the South, and if they get too close, they might try to kill me, so. Anyway, freedom isn't free. We have to earn it every day. and I will be back tomorrow, allegedly at 9:30, to earn my freedom. So I will now sip on this for 10 seconds for Melissa. Gunter trying to get us to Peru.